Okay, so this is a demo of the Endless True Bypass feedback looper. A few of you have been asking for a demo of what this does, and it's a good way to explain what it does, because it's kind of hard to work it out, kind of hard to explain on paper. So that's the Endless, and we're going to be running this through a Fender Telecaster and a terrible, horrible Orange Crush amp. So the Endless itself doesn't actually do anything in terms of being an effects pedal. What it is a pedal which affects your existing effects. And to illustrate that, I've got a Boss OD3 overdrive which has been modified, an Akai headrush delay and tape echo pedal, Boss chorus ensemble, and a Marshall reflector. So I'm just going to show you how we set this up. So your guitar comes into the in slot here, and then from the send, that goes into your pedal board, which goes and out the end of the pedal board, back into the return slot, and then from the out goes all the way to the amp. So that's how you set it up. It's got two modes, which can be switched using the switch here. We have, let me just flip it on actually. We have this mode, which is just the True Bypass Looper mode, which can be used as a master switch for your pedal board. So I'll illustrate that in a bit. Or we have feedback looper mode, which is a lovely red LED instead of green, and that can be switched using, as I say, this toggle here. We've also got the momentary switch here, which while you're in True Bypass Looper mode you can click on, and it puts you into feedbacker mode, and I'll explain what that does. This knob here allows you to dial in how much of the signal you want routing back through itself while it's in feedbacker mode. So that's enough kind of explaining. I'm going to go put some shoes on, and then we'll see what sorts of sounds we can get out of this. Okay, so I'll explain what it does in True Bypass Looper mode first. So you might be asking, well, why do I need like a master switch for all my pedals? Why can't I just turn them on as I would normally? Well, what I like to do during a gig is maybe have two effects come on at once. I really like the sound of my delay and my reverb at once. I might want delay, chorus and reverb at once, and that leads to this sort of tap dancing, trying to kick all of these on in the right point during a song, and then setting the timing on my delay as well. So what you can do with this is you can arm these three effects, and the non-on, that's the old bypass noise, until you kick the looper on when you get, and you've got all three at once, and that doesn't sound particularly pleasant because I'm not playing it properly. Yeah, you might wonder why I'm on my hands and knees rather than actually playing the guitar. It's because when you get into feedbacker mode, it's actually quite sensitive, and you don't really need to be playing anything. The effects sort of feed themselves, so it's much nicer to be on your hands and knees, twiddling this knob, twiddling that knob, giving a go on all the knobs to get the sort of weirdest sounds you can out of it. So that's True Bypass Looper mode. Another benefit of that is if you've got a really large pedal board and you're just running your guitar straight in one end, straight through all the pedals into your amp, what you're essentially doing is putting the signal from your lovely, nice guitar all the way through miles and miles and miles of circuitry inside each pedal, if they're not true bypass pedals, and that's going all the way to your amp, and you end up losing tone over the length of your pedals. So what the Endless does, and any other true bypass looper, is it takes all of your board out of the chain when you're not using it, which preserves your tone, because what we've just got going on here is guitar straight through into the amp, so it's totally bypassed. So that's another benefit of true bypass looper mode. So next we've got feedbacker mode, which we can toggle on using the little toggle switch there. And when we kick that on, it's not going to do anything right now because I haven't got any of my effects on. But we're just going to try this with overdrive and delay. Then as we turn this volume up, so there we go. So what is happening there is the Endless is taking your pedals and sending them back through themselves over and over again, which sounds really cool with kind of delay effects, and it gets more sensitive if you've got it overdriven as well. So you kind of always really need a delay in there, or you can just kind of use it as like a standard feedback, or this weird sort of Star Trek-y sort of noise with the chorus. Just an example of what what reverb sounds like. I'm going to stop it there because it sounds like shit after that. But you could use that as, you know, just say you wanted a bit of like a build-up in a song. Let's see, you overdrive on. We can flip this back into standard true bypass looper mode, kick that on, and then use the momentary switch to have just a little bit of feedback just for the time that you've got your foot pressed on the momentary switch. I say a build-up, it's not really a build-up, is it? That's just, sounds like hell straight away. Yeah, maybe not really the best thing. Like so. So you can get all sorts of crazy noises, so I'm just going to have a little play with it in bypass mode using the momentary switch. So I'm going to have that on, I'm going to have that on. So that's some of the weird stuff you can do with the Endless pedal. Yeah, buy one from me. Thanks.